Part 3, food stamps. 2nd Ezra 15 says, my right hand shall not spare the sinners, and my sword shall not seize over them that shed innocent blood upon earth. For now are the plagues, 2nd Ezra 15:27, for now are the plagues come upon the whole earth, and ye, the wicked, the 2/3, and you heathens and Gentiles, you shall remain in them, for Yahweh shall not deliver you, because you have sinned against him. And it's really chiefly talking about the Israelites. Because like the elders bring out, the salvation up out of this place is going to be through the chariots. So who's going to get caught up, taken up in the chariots? So let's jump back into that video. Let's get back into the video, man. And as he says in this video, he says, the brother that's bringing this video out, GMS KC, he's a mighty brother in his ministry, just like the rest of the mighty brothers in his ministry. He dubbed it the price for the box, the snatch, is going to be cheap. Isaiah 4:1, and that's what's going to happen. The oldest profession, once this famine hit, and they already been talking about the famine anyway, man. They already said around 2030, that food is going to be, quite short about that time span. And this is 2025. The time just flies. So 26, 27, 28, 5 years, man. And it gets worse and worse. But yeah, the oldest profession is going to really kick in. You women, especially you 2/3, you wicked Israelites, you wicked Israelite women, you're going to be selling box. You're going to be selling everything. You're going to be selling the front door, the back door, and the attic to sustain your hunger. And half of that stuff you might not even want to do, but you're going to be forced to do it if you want to eat or feed them kids. And this is just the prophecies that's going to come down the pike. And I'm stumping on the women right now, but even to the men, you're going to be doing stuff that you men that don't have the faith, you men that don't have the angels and the Holy Spirit, the Rakakadash with you, you men that's not of the elect. You 2/3 men, you're going to be out here, killing and shooting and robbing and pillaging to eat as well. And it's just going to be an end time apocalyptic movie, man. That's all I can say. That's what it's going to be. But the oldest profession, man, is coming back in a major way, and it already is. You have this thing called OnlyFans, and that's all these women do. They sell the attic, the front door, and the back door. And I'm speaking in code, so I won't be so vulgar and blunt. You should know what that is. The women get on OnlyFans and they sell the attic, the front door, and the back door. And they get paid too. OF has created a bunch of billionaires, all in the name of whoredom and harlotry, and even to pornography, man. Even to pornography, and that's a stronghold. You see, for brothers and sisters, and people that's just in the world, worldly people as well. Devices of the devil. And guess who owned the porn sites and the pornography? You damn rabbis, you damn Jewish rabbis. You own the pornography sites and the porn and industry and all of that. You got shares all in it, and you own it. But they supposed to be the people of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. They supposed to be the Israelites. You got a rabbi this and a rabbi that and rabbi that own this porn site and own that porn site and this porn site. So, pornography and OnlyFans have made these women filthy rich. But the roosters are coming home to roost. Roosters are coming home to roost. So let's dive in it.
First thing and foremost, I'm going to give all praises.
So, you know, he was bringing it out, going into his lesson, and I'm just lying backing off of him and bringing it out. And look at the time right there on the stove. The special number, 414. 414, 414. But let's get back into this. Let's get into, you know what, let's go into that. Isaiah. And this is just prophecy, man. Every time I wake up, man. every time I wake up, man, and manifest within this space. Prophecy is just jumping off the pages. So you heard what these ladies, well, that lady said. She said she's gonna sell it. Where's all the buyers at? Because she refuses to be hungry because of no food stamps, and she probably got kids and whatnot, and family and whatnot, and everything else. And like the last lady said, you know, since Trump did what he did, it's going to be a lot of prostitution. But it's the oldest profession in the world. But it's just prophecy. Isaiah 4:1, it says, "And in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own food and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach." And that's going into prophecy that's happening now. When all hell break loose, you know, these women are going, you know, they're going to be looking for certain men. And really just looking for men in general, but the golden goose, so to speak, is us, the prophets, the teachers, the scholars, the apostles. We're the golden gooses. They're going to really be wanting to look for us, but they're going to be looking for men in general as a hedge of protection. When civil war and wars kick in and unrest kicks in, and society collapses and things go haywire, when things go left. When things go left, things go haywire and society collapses, the women get back in order. You know, that's why this place got to end too, man. It's just out of whack. Everything is just out of whack here, man. You know, when you go to these damn jobs and places and whatnot, you know, you got women absorbing authority over men. How about that? You got women trying to have authority over you because of the positions that Babylon has given them. You know, the Bible says that a woman shouldn't have authority over a man. Really, and that's going into women in general, but we know the only woman that has authority over a man is the Israelite woman. The Israelite woman is probably the only woman that has authority over a man. I mean, if you think about it, put it all together, she's the Israelite woman. She's the Israelite. But you have it now to where you got women that got authority over a man, and the Bible tells you a woman shouldn't have authority over a man. And let me go to it, because y'all like to scream out misogynist and blah blah blah, and you don't like women, you hate women or something. No, it ain't that. It's just the Bible is what God said it's supposed to be. Yahweh said what it's supposed to be. It says a woman should not have authority over a man. A woman should not have authority over a man. Authority. And I believe that's in the New Testament. I believe that's in the New Testament. It says, and within this, okay, contextually, he's talking about within the church. But I mean, that goes for the church. That goes for any avenue in life. But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to absorb authority over the man, but to be in silence. But you got these female supervisors and female managers and female this and female that. Everything here in Babylon is just off track, man. It's all out of whack. It's all off track. Why? Because the basis of men. And then, just to kind of allude, not even so much allude on that, but to kind of counter what I just said, to be the devil's advocate, I gather that would be the right terms for it. The right terms. You got women that do certain jobs better than men. I ain't too proud to say that. I tell you, I'm a truther. I am a truther. I am a truther. I'm not a liar. I bring the truth. I'm a Hebrew Israelite man at that, from one of the royal regal tribes at that. I am a prophet at that, apostle at that. I am I'm not just any mortal. You see, you hear? So I'm not going to lie to you. You do have women that do a damn well better job than men. So, hey, but I got to ride with the Bible. The Bible says what the Bible says. It says a woman should not absorb authority over men. And I was talking about the church in Second Timothy, but that goes for all aspects in life. But carrying back on Isaiah, what is that? Isaiah 4:1. And that was Isaiah 4:1. But Isaiah, let's go into prophet Isaiah, what is that? 3. What is that? 3, 20, 22, 23. All right, yeah. So Isaiah. So when all of this stuff happens, man, when all of this stuff kicks off and Yahweh really opens the floodgates of judgment, you're going to have these things take their course again. Prophet Isaiah 3, they say history repeats itself, so it's going to happen. Isaiah 3, it says, moreover, the Lord says, because the daughters of Zion, that's you Israelite women, and not only the Israelite women, but even the heathen women, the Gentile women here, the Americanized woman, the American women in general. Isaiah 3:16, moreover, the Lord said, because the daughters of Zion are haughty. And I tell you, these American women are so proud. Kanye West couldn't say it better when he said women act like it's diamonds in their vagina. You see, you hear, and they do. Women actually do walk around like it's diamonds in their vagina, and diamonds are not even the most rarest thing in the earth. I mean, when you do your research and really study, diamonds is just a farce. That's just a farce when you really go into your precious commodities. The real rare things is commodities is gold and silver. Silver is actually more rare than diamonds. Now, I probably messed your head up with that one, but go do your research. Silver is more rare than diamonds. Diamonds is carbon. Gold is more rare than diamonds. And a plethora of other stones is rarer than diamonds. Diamonds is everywhere. It's carbon. They can make diamonds, that's why they make them. But it's all a farce, because this place is Babylon. It's all deception. But just to jump back on it, women walk around like it's super valuables in their vagina, proud. And I can't even fault them. I can't even fault the women to some degree, to some extent, because you simps. You'll do anything and everything just to get between a woman's legs, just to get a piece of that just to get a little piece of that heaven, just to get some of that pot of gold, and you'll do anything. It says, moreover, the Lord says, because the daughters of Zion are haughty and walk with stretched forth necks and wanton eyes, walking and menacing as they go and making a tinkling with their feet. Therefore, Yahweh will smite with a scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion. This is why you Israelite women are bald. You want to know why the beauty supply? You want to know why the Ammonites and the Moabites, specifically the Moabites, the Chinese, you want to know why they make a fortune in the beauty supply stores? Because of prophecy. Therefore, Yahweh will smite you with the scab, the crown of your head, of the daughters of Zion. This is how you know you're the Israelites. And the Lord will discover their secret parts. And that day, Yahweh will take away the bravery of their tinkling ornaments about their feet and their calls and their rounds, tires like the moon, the chains and the bracelets and the mufflers. And look at this, the bonnets. The bonnets. What woman on this earth? What woman? Well, they all wear bonnets, but what nation of women on this earth wears bonnets the most? Don't worry, I won't wait. The bonnets and the ornaments and the legs and the headbands and the tablets and the earrings, the rings and nose jewels, the changeable suits of apparel and the mantles and the wimples and the crisping pins, the glasses and the fine linen and the hoods and the veils. And it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell, there shall be stink. So this is judgment. And you know what? I'm going to chat GPT this to break it down even more. This is going to happen when all this stuff collapses. You know, it's not going to be, you ain't be able to take a shower. You ain't going to be able to wash. You women, you go on cycles. You got animals that's going to be smelling you out. I could just only imagine, man. And these men, got these men that just, you know, psychopaths. They're going to be trying to try to find you and get you. This is why you got that, who you want to be with. You want to be with the bear or the man. And you got all these women picking the bear. And that day, man, it's going to be something, man. The prophecy, who you call God, he can't lie. So, and every time I read these prophecies, I just think of the worst end time apocalyptic movie that you can think of. It says, and it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell, there should be stink, and instead of a girdle, a rent, and instead of well set hair, baldness, and instead of stomacher, a girding of sackcloth, and burning instead of beauty. Thy men, here's the point, shall fall by the sword. War. When these drafts, when that draft kick in, when the Civil War happens, when the World War III happens, this is why it's not going to be any borders of protection. The men shall fall by the sword, and the mighty in the war. And her gates shall lament and mourn, and she being desolate shall sit upon the ground. And that's not just for the Israelite men, that's for the heathen men and you heathen women. Everybody here in America is going to experience this prophecy, these prophecies. It is what it is. So let's go into chat. And I've been going into chat since the brothers in Hawaii brought it out, because they was the first ones that was bringing chat out. Really, I was diving into chat, really, but the brothers of the elders of, you know, the elder, well, they really not elders, but you know, they can, you know, the apostles of Hawaii, GMS Hawaii, man, they was bringing it out with the chat one day, and then I was like, you know what, why not use the chat? Because I was just using chat for something else, and then, you know, it is what it is. The rest is history. But Isaiah 3, instead of sweet, put that in there. This is in Isaiah 3, instead of sweet smell stink. Is this the prophetic prophecy of the end time events? Prophetic. Instead of sweet. It's not just that. You got everything else in the chapter. The men should be slaughtered by the sword, the wars, etc., etc. Isaiah 3, instead of sweet smell, there should be sting. Is this chapter? The prophetic events to come. Destruction. Despair. Slach. So, this was Chad. Chad, talk to me, Chad. Isaiah 3, it says, is a deeply sobering chapter that contains prophetic judgment, primarily aimed at the nation of Judah. Jacob's trouble. Jacob. Judah, Jacob. This is the northern and southern kingdom, not just the southern kingdom, and not just the Israelites. It's going to be trouble for you heathen nations too. You Gentile nations, you're going to get hit too. Really, y'all the ones that's going to bring it up. With all this civil unrest, Democrats versus Republicans, conservative versus liberals, the rich Edomites versus the poor Edomites. Yeah, everybody gonna get some. It says, but it's really chiefly what? Towards the Israelites. But everybody gonna get it. It says, warning of societal collapse, leadership failure, and personal humiliation due to their rebellion against Yahweh. So this is why Yahweh is going to open the floodgates of judgment, because the state of the world. And the phrase you reference, it says, and it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell, there should be stink. Isaiah 3:24. It says this is a part of a poetic and prophetic passage where prophet Isaiah, speaking for Yahweh, warns that the luxuries, America, man, the luxuries, the riches, the glory, all of that is going to come to naught. It says this is a part of a poetic and prophetic passage, prophecy, where prophet Isaiah, speaking for Yahweh, warns that the luxuries and pride of the women of Zion will be stripped. Not just the women of Zion, but the women of Edom, the women of Moab, the women of Ammon, the women of Ham, the women of Japheth, the women of Ishmael. But chiefly it's going to be the women of Zion, the Israelites, will be stripped away, leaving shame, suffering, and degradation. It's symbolic of wider judgment on the entire society. Ain't nothing symbolic about it. It's literal. It's going to happen. Is this about the future? Yes. It depends on how you're reading prophecy. There are two common interpretations. This is future eschatology. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Many scholars see Isaiah 3 as referring specifically to Judah and Jerusalem in the 8th century BCE. Yeah, contextually, that's what happened then and there, but it's going to happen again. It says warning of Assyria, because you get that from 2nd Esdras 15, 16, 2nd Esdras 9, Matthew 24, precept upon precept, precept upon precept. It says invasions that will come as judgment for the sins. It says in this view, the death, destruction, despair was fulfilled historically through exile, famine, and war. Prophetic future view. Some interpret this chapter as having dual fulfillment. And yes, the Bible goes into twofold, threefold, fourfold, fivefold. And look at the special number. That's that magic number right there. Not by chance I caught it, and I always seem to catch it while doing these studies. And I don't even be trying to catch it. It just dials up that way. It says some interpret this chapter as having dual fulfillment, twofold, threefold, both historical and a future application. In that sense, Isaiah 3 is sometimes seen as a type of foreshadowing of future judgment. And that's the business that we're ultimately in. That's the business that we're ultimately in. We're in the business of saving you Israelite souls, and we're in the business of prophecy, of prophesying. I always tell you this in these lessons. You couldn't tell me 15, 12 years ago that I would be breaking down the Holy Bible and understanding it, not just breaking it down, but understanding it here, they're understanding it, tying in historical events with biblical events and understanding it and just getting the deep meat, the grasp of everything. You couldn't tell me this 15, 12, 13 years ago, maybe 16, 17 years ago, because I had my own desires and my own plans. But thank you, Yahweh, that he pulled me. Well, technically, we were already pulled. The elect was predestined from the beginning. It says both a historical and a future application in the sense Isaiah 3 is sometimes seen as a type of foreshadowing of future judgment in the last days or during a time of great societal collapse, preceding the return of Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai. It says from this view, the decline described where leaders are immature or corrupt, justice is perverted, vanity replaces holiness, and we see that now. You see vanity replacing holiness and shamefacedness with social media. This is why sometimes I hate going on social media, because as soon as you go on social media, all you see is breasts, buttocks, vagina prints, violence, reckless violence, stupid stuff. Just vanity, vanity and BS, folly and vanity. Those two words best describe what you tend to see on these socials, folly and vanity. It says from this view, the decline described where leaders are immature, corrupt, justice is perverted, and vanity replaces holiness. Parallels what some see happening in modern nations. You see that here all day long. This is why you got passport bros, guys that go overseas to find themselves a wife or wives because of the immorality and vanity and everything else here in Babylon, Egypt. It says, so is this a prophetic warning? Yeah, it is. I already told you it is before I read chat. I already told you that, but it is, man. It's going to happen. Let's go into some more. Let's go into 2nd Esdras 16. 2nd Esdras 16, and if you don't know who Esdras is the Greek translation, but his Hebrew translation or name is Ezra. Ezra is Esdras. Esdras is Ezra. It says, 2nd Esdras 16 or Esdras 16:1. It says, destruction, woe be unto thee, Babylon, Asia, woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. And you can kind of tackle all of those ancient wicked kingdoms into this kingdom here. It says, gird up yourselves with cloths of sack and hair. Bewail your children, be sorry, for your destruction is at hand. A sword is sent upon you, and who may turn it back? A fire is sent among you, and who may quench it? Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away? Jumping down to verse 13, for strong is his right hand that bends the bow. His arrows that he shoot are sharp, and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. And that's kind of giving you some World War III prophecy, because that's ultimately what's going to happen. These nations, they're going to turn their back on the whore. They're going to turn their back on the whore. It says, behold, 2nd Ezra 16:14, behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. The fire is kindled and shall not be put out till it consume the foundation of the earth, like as an arrow which is shot off a mighty archer, return not backward. Even so the plagues that shall be sent upon earth shall not return again. Destruction is me. Destruction is me. Who will deliver me in those days? So Ezra was saying this to himself, like as the angel was giving him the download through Yahweh. He was just thinking to himself, like, what would he, he thought it was going to be, I assume, in his time. But it wasn't for his time. It was for our time right here. This is this time here. It says the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine. Trump cut off the food stamps. Behold, famine. Trump cut off the food stamps. Behold, famine. Trump cut off the food stamps. Behold, famine. And plague, tribulation, and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. And when you really look at this thing with the spiritual eye, everybody is a pawn in this chess game. We're all pawns, and we all are being moved by Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai. So who really turned off the food stamps? Or who really turned off that? Or who really did that? Or who really is doing that? When you understand these prophecies, these scrolls, you'll come to realize that it's Yahweh, the Ancient of Days. Sirach 1:8, Sirach 18:1-3. I just gave you Deuteronomy 32:39. I kill, I wound, I heal, I make alive. It's Yahweh that runs this show. Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. It says, for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon the earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case, and even then shall evils grow upon earth. Sword, war, famine, no food, great confusion. You see confusion all through this place. You see confusion all through this place. Men want to be women, and women want to be men, and everything else in between. It says, for many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the famine, the hunger, shall be killed by the sword, war, violence. It says, and the death shall be cast, and the dead shall be cast out as dung. Shit. You know how you see animal dung everywhere? You just walk over it, walk by it, get around it. That's how bodies are going to be. The bodies are going to be like this. It says, and the dead should be cast out as dung, and there should be no man to comfort them. You know, those that die or died. Ain't going to be no funerals. You're going to have to man up. You're going to have to woman up and keep it pushing. You're going to be pilgrims among the earth. It's going to be like your favorite end time apocalyptic movie, man. This is an end time apocalyptic movie to the max. And they should drop another one too. They need to drop. We need a good. The world needs a good mega end time apocalyptic movie before it all happens. We need a good mega blockbuster, good movie, good box office, good blockbuster, good box office. They don't do blockbuster no more, but that's the 90s, early 2000s blockbuster. But good box office, good movie, a great big movie of end time events with some great actors. One last go around before it actually happens. 2 Ezra 16, it says, and the dead shall be cast as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them. For the earth shall be wasted, and the city shall be cast down. There shall be no man left to till the earth and to sow it. The trees shall give fruit, and who shall eat them or gather them? The grapes shall ripe, and who shall tread them, pick them? You pick the fruit when it's ripe. It says, for all places shall be desolate of men, women, children. It says teenagers. It says, so that one man shall desire to see another and to hear his voice. That's how bad it's going to be. That's how much death Yahweh is going to bring. It says, for of a city there should be 10 left. A city can hold up to 1 million people. It's saying there's only going to be 10 people in a city. It says, for a city there should be 10 left, and 2 of the few which shall hide themselves in the thick grooves, pilgrims among earth, and in the clefts of the rocks, people hiding in the mountains, hiding in the hills, hiding in the mountains, hiding in the brush, hiding in the wilderness. An end time apocalyptic movie. It says, or when as a vineyard is gathered, there are left some clusters of them that diligently seek through the vineyard. Even so, in those days, there should be 3 or 4 left by them that search their houses with the sword because of famine. That's why I tell you, all you preppers, all you preppers, I've been prepping for 30 years. I've been prepping for 15 years. I've been prepping for 25 years. I've been prepping for 40 years. I've been ready. You're not ready for what the Bible says is going to come. And even with that being said, it was already said that you got people that's Edomites, I believe, some Edomites, because only some Edomites would say some horrendous shit like this, because that's just in their spirit. It's not in Jacob's spirit to be like that. It's in the E's spirit for sure. But he said, I believe it was an Edomite, but I could be wrong. I got to go really fact check it. I don't know. I don't know if it was an Edomite or Israelite or another Gentile. But one of them said, Brother Malcolm, Elder Malcolm brought it out. GMS Chicago, one of the videos he had, he said the guy said that when it all hits the fan, he's going to be ready because he's going to go after you preppers. So think about that. You got preppers being targeted. You're going to be targeted, and you're definitely going to be targeted in that day. That's why I don't understand why y'all be showing y'all preparation all over the internet. You fools. So you got people that know they ain't gonna have a dime. You got people that know they're not gonna have nothing. So they're gonna be banking on taking your goods, as the prophecy says. It says, even so, in those days, there should be 3 or 4 left by them that search their houses with the sword, and the earth shall be laid to waste, and the fields thereof shall wax old, and her ways and all the paths shall grow full of thorns, because no man shall travel there through. The virgins shall mourn, you women, having no bridegrooms, no husbands, no man. The wars, the civil wars, the world wars, the women shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. And the wars shall their bridegrooms be killed, destroyed, eradicated, annihilated, disintegrated, decimated. And their husbands shall perish of famine. Hear now these things. And that's what the prophets are doing. We hearing these things and we getting ready spiritually. That's the only way we can really get ready. So when all this stuff happens, Trump cuts the food stamps, and somebody else did this, and somebody else did that, and this just blew up, and this just got flooded out, and this. We've been prepping ourselves spiritually to get ready for all of this. This is why we're going to be sought after, and this is why we're going to be protected and guided, Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shah willing, in that day. And this is why we're going to be faithful in that day, because while y'all was playing around, oopsie-doo, la-la land, in la-la land, we was getting right spiritually to the best of our abilities. 2nd Esdras 16:35, it says, hear now these things and understand them, you servants of the Lord. I'm going to end it with that, man. We're going to let the brother speak his piece, and then we're going to end this beautiful lesson, because all of these lessons are beautiful. No matter what prophecy we're going into, when you diving into the words of who you call God, Yahweh, it's truly amazing. It's truly amazing. It's truly amazing. And even the phone had to chime in on that. Even the phone had to deuce that up. It's truly amazing to see these prophecies at hand. It's truly amazing to see scoffers and mockers be put to shame.
Shalom. First thing and foremost, I'm going to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders and great millstone, who well. Peace and blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Noise in the gospel, bro. Lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Shemi, wherever it may be. This is another lesson through the Spirit. It says, crash out, season, and box going for cheap. Eve is the ringleader over benefits. And that's essentially to say that basically these women are getting ready to start selling pussy for cheaper. Okay, it's not the fact that they didn't sell it, because, I mean, all these women are fucking prostitutes. I won't say high class, low class, middle class. Women come in all shapes, sizes, and forms, and they all have a price. Some prices less than others, some tend to overinflate the box. But essentially, it's all used up, and really none of it is no good if you really think about what went into it and the shit you gotta jump through in order to get it. So you got these Keishas on here talking about they're getting ready to crash out and steal from these stores, and they're getting ready to sell pussy, and how do you sell pussy, and this and that. Like, look, bitch, don't act like you don't know how to sell no box, all right? You know exactly how to sell it. And the crazy part about it is that you've been selling it, all right? It just, you choose who to give it up to free, or you pick and choose on who you decide who's gonna get it or who's worthy of receiving your tainted snatch, all right? But regardless of it, we're in hard times. These women, they're finna be a dime a dozen, okay? I know certain brothers have more options than other brothers, but regardless of it, all you brothers out there, for the most part, y'all getting ready to eat, okay? We all getting ready to eat, if that make any sense. And I say that because Isaiah 4:1 is going to bring in a lot of women to start turning into these videos, and it's going to bring back a lot of ex-girlfriends and ex-women we used to deal with, baby mamas. Hell, you'd be surprised. Me personally, I changed my number, and all my social media accounts are pretty blocked. So it's literally like trying to find me is like trying to find a ghost. All right, and that's just the way I prefer to have it, because at the end of the day, you know, it just ain't got time for it, man. My thing is, don't need me when you need you. My thing is this: now you want to come around when you need something from me, but prior to then, when you ain't need a man and we wasn't good enough and all this other stuff, you know, y'all shitting on us. But now the time now.
And that's just the surface level, the shallow. Like I said, looking at this thing with a spiritual eye, this food stamp shutdown and government shutdown ordeal, it's all in the hands of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. These, 2/3 and you heathens, y'all thought y'all was about to have some happy holidays. Macaroni, cheese, yams, turkey, chicken, potato salad, beans, casserole, stuffing, cornbread, stuffing, and smoked chicken, smoked turkey, baked chicken, and pies, and gumbo, jumbo, and turkey necks, and turkey legs, and pecan pie, pumpkin pie, ice creams, and sweet rolls. And y'all thought y'all was about to have some happy holidays, and Yahweh pulled the rug. Trump cut the food stamps. Trump cut the food stamps. It's just funny, man. It's funny because I'm looking at it through spiritual lenses, but then again, it's not, because you got families that depend on that stuff, man. That depend on certain things, and like I said, if Yahweh himself is stopping it, because God, who you call God, Yahweh, is the one that controls everything. Sirach 1:8, Sirach 18:1-3, Deuteronomy 32:39, Isaiah 45:7, Salak, Isaiah, precept. 1 Samuel 2:6-7, Isaiah 45:7, Deuteronomy 32:39, Amos 3:7, Deuteronomy 32:37. Yahweh controls it all, Daniel 4:17. If Yahweh is against it, how can I be with it? And like I said, looking at it with the spiritual lens, Yahweh is the one that guided your president to do that and do whatever else these devils are doing to cause this civil unrest, to cause this uproar, and to you know, and whatever else. Y'all thought y'all was gonna have some happy pagan holy days, and that's not gonna happen, obviously, or what it seems like. So with that, man, I'm going to say, Call Halam La Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakakadash, Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahweh Shai.